What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a on-the-road edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I had a feeling you wouldn't mind so much that I'm on the road here just for a day or two because, well, we ended up going 4-1. We got PCA, the late home run. That was quite useful, obviously. And of course, we end up just kind of going nuts. I mean, I'm just looking at it here through the iPad. I've got all my results here. San Diego, Miami, that under of 8 hit pretty cleanly, 3-2. Of course, I tried to make Cease a thing. That was unfortunate. But Milwaukee, they win by 1,000,000 against Seattle. We'll talk about that going into Thursday here. We got Jesus Luzardo over 6.5 strikeouts. That was very, very useful. And of course, rounding it all out for you, I think that was actually it. So, anywho, that does it for the recap for you here. 4-1 on MLB Lindy's, and then Mike Trout goes yard as well for the astute people. Some weird people in the comment section. It is what it is. Obviously, BVP. If it works for you, keep doing it, but it doesn't work for me, and it's not something that I think is forward-facing. Do we arrive at some of the same plays as a result of that? Sure, we can, but for the most part, not something that I'm ever going to be paying attention to. So, there you go. That kind of does it for that recap. Anywho, we got a ton to get to on this slate. Obviously, Lindy 5, if you guys are looking to jump in that premium Discord, it's been good times. Plus, you can talk process with me all the live long day. But I am burying the lead. We have a lock today. Only 5 games on the slate. Only 5 games, but I feel pretty confident about what we're looking at. And as such, let's get to the plays. Ooh, that was pretty fancy what I just did there. Lindy's Leans here. We're going to start with the J-Ram home run. I'm paying attention to this in the corner of your screen. We got Charlie Morton versus Logan Allen. And Charlie Morton, he's been decent enough. The strikeout stuff has been all right. 22.5% K rate over the season, 7.9% barrel percentage. But J-Ram's on another planet. And we've had wind blowing in Progressive Field from right field. Looks like it's going to be flipping a little bit tomorrow. Not like crazy. It's not going to be blowing out to the right field fences, but I think J-Ram home run. I mean, the guy, I'm not a hot streaks person, but I can tell you one thing. I do watch ball. 294 expected batting average, 20.5-degree launch angle. Him, Bo Naylor. We've talked a lot about Nolan Jones on this program as well, somebody who's due for positive regression. Something from a batting perspective is going to show up tomorrow. Speaking of Toronto, those bats, they've been waking the hell up. I mean, what an unbelievable fact that the Toronto Blue Jays are 60-42. They win 8-4 against the Yankees. I didn't really like a lot of that game. It was very difficult for me to figure out what I wanted to do. And part of it is that Toronto defies expectations, but they have Lauer versus Olsen here. And Reese Olsen is one of those guys that 309 xWOBA, 376 expected slugging. I mean, just another really good selection here by Detroit that is starting to come to fruition, not later in his career. I mean, he's very, very young still. He's only, 25 years old, but we've seen a lot of him. 23, 24, 25. He's gone back to 2023, 4.73 expected ERA then, 3.66 now with a 2.71 ERA, which would be by far the best of his career. But Toronto bats are a real thing here right now. And Eric Lauer, left on left, you neutralize a little bit of Riley Green. You neutralize a little bit of this lineup, Colt Keith and things of that nature. Man, Detroit's been on the slide. And we took advantage of that with Pittsburgh. It's why I overran my data yesterday. It technically liked the Detroit money line yesterday, but we cashed with Pittsburgh on Monday, Tuesday. It's pretty clear to see that Detroit needs help. They don't have enough bats to kind of make this work. I think Toronto money line amongst these 4 here, well, I mean, I'm obsessed with Rooker, so it is what it is. But Toronto money line, that is definitely one of those plays that I think you want to be paying attention to tomorrow. I'm going to be paying attention to line movement and deciding what I want to do from there. We got San Diego and St. Louis up next. And this one, I'm not very interested in. We have a really good pitcher, the guy who leads this slate in terms of xFIP, in terms of strikeout rate, everything with Sonny Gray. And then we have Yu Darvish, who, again, it's weird to see like some of these prices that we're getting to potentially back St. Louis. I'm just a little bit confused because Yu Darvish, yeah, he's been okay. 254 expected batting average, 370 expected slugging, nothing there, but 11.5% walk rate, 13.5% K rate. I mean, this is not what you're normally seeing from Yu Darvish. He's going to be short for this game, and San Diego does have a really good bullpen. I think the St. Louis money line is just a little bit undervalued in this spot. I didn't end up betting it here yet, but with just 5 games, wouldn't be shocked to see that one upgraded a little bit. It's just tough to really pull the trigger on it because I do think Toronto money line is a little bit more intriguing. Speaking of intriguing, yes, Brent Rooker, Nick Kurtz. I mean, both of these dudes. How many times can they show up on a card for me? But if one homers, the other doesn't. If one homers, the other doesn't. But you're still making quite a bit of money in the process of it. Pay attention to Brent Rooker. And coming off of yesterday where Mike Trout was just breaking my model, and then PCA hits the late home run, it was just square peg, square hole. You have basically no lefties that were going to come out of the pen there for Kansas City in that spot. And that made me feel especially good about him. Weird to not have Kyle Tucker in that lineup, but such is life. We've got Brent Rooker here at a spot with a 386 xWOBA. The bat speed is completely there entirely. Patrick Corbin goes nutty for no reason whatsoever on Wednesday. Again, the Nick Kurtz, Brent Rooker combination, it's just ridiculous. But Brent Rooker gets the bump here. Lefty power in this ballpark. Going to be harder for me to get to Nick Kurtz purely because of how this ballpark sets up, unless he wants to go Apo Taco to the Crawford boxes. But in terms of pitching, Jason Alexander, not somebody who's going to be crazy long for this game, righty out there. So he'll get the starting nod here, but then it'll probably turn over to a lot of bullpen arms from there. And Luis Severino, he's the guy we're probably going to want to pick on a little bit more, but considering there's no lefties that exist and the ballpark is a cavern for lefties, despite what you've seen from Yordan Alvarez, when is he coming back? Can we get Yordan Alvarez back in our lives? That'd be great. Not that any of us are cheering for Houston, so there's that. But you know what I am cheering for? Somebody in the comment section, somebody that is watching this right now, be like me. Be like me. Be like Lindy. Join Tails today. Friends, in the video description box below, there is a process that you can go through to potentially be on the Odd Chopper YouTube channel, to potentially be in the Tails space. You want to try to figure it out if you're one of those who are going to be selected? Well, you sign up down at that link below. Take a look. It's in our book, Reading Rainbow. No, just check out Tails. It's really good stuff. Plus, tell you what, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to potentially be on this channel and to potentially be in that space sooner rather than later. If you're throwing out picks, if you're somebody who's like, hey, this is something I could do what Lindy's doing, well, come do it. I would love to see that. Be like Lindy. Join Tails today down at the link below. So you go right underneath the Lindy 5, which is, of course, right there for you as well. If you guys want to jump in, $5 for your first week. Would love to have you there. Less than $1 a day to try it out. If you try it out, I have a feeling you'll stick around because it's really second to none between the access that you have to me along with the bets. The bets are the key part. We're making money there, hand over fist, year over year over year. Lindy 5, $5 for your first week. Let's get to the lock. Oh yeah, I've been burying the lead the whole way. The lock. We go. I wasn't planning this. This was not something that I had to do or I wanted to do, but I'm on the road. Seattle, they're taking on LA, the Angel version of LA, not the Dodger version that came from behind and beat up my Twins. That was not nice. They end up winning that series and come from behind fashion. Shohei Ohtani's homered 5 straight. He seems good at baseball, but Cal Raleigh also seems good at baseball. He's the only guy I'm like really crazy worried. Well, him and Randy Arozarena, who's been a lefty killer over time and is kind of back up to his old tricks. Julio Rodriguez has shown moments here before the All-Star break, but I don't understand this line. Let's talk through this. It's you say Kikuchi, and I say Kakachi, even though I don't say that, and Logan Evans on the other side of this one. Logan Evans is terrible. He is dead last on this slate. He is, quote-unquote, as I put in the Discord, leading this slate in expected ERA, north of a 5.50 expected ERA. That's abysmal. And Kikuchi's been downright pretty good. He's not the guy that we used to pick on back in 2023 when he was at the Blue Jays. And a lot of people are nodding their head. Yes, we made a lot of money betting against Kikuchi on this program, but there are a couple of things that he's done well. One, it's not necessarily pitching to contact, but he's not giving up a crazy amount of power to righties. And I think there's a world, friends. There's definitely a world where you look at his xFIP, 4.03, next to, again, this is just a starting pitching mismatch, the likes of which the world has never seen before. Actually, they have for sure, but it's still pretty lopsided. And the fact that this is minus 115, plus 105 here on sale is so disingenuous to Kikuchi and how much better he is than Evans. So I looked in the first 5 market, and as you've probably been able to tell, kind of gotten inflated here for just a 5 inning sample size. And I do trust the Angels bullpen to be okay in this spot. And Seattle, you get their bullpen out of Seattle. And I think a lot of their numbers neutralize, where I have no problem whatsoever. I think this should be north of minus 160, in fact. The Los Angeles Angels money line. Let's fire this one up here on Thursday. My favorite play we've had all week, and it's on just a 5-game slate. I didn't intend for it to happen. That's the way the cookie crumbles, though, my friends. Well, I just wanted to remind you, be like Lindy, join Tails today, all of that good stuff. Down at the link below, if you're looking to be somebody, hey, maybe I could jump into a Discord and be able to rule the world. Well, who runs the world? In this case, could be girls, but it could also be dudes. So be like Lindy, join Tails today. We'll see you guys there. And that does it for an on-the-road edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for Thursday's slate. Obviously, just 5 games to break down. Brent Rooker looks pretty good still. Just throwing it out there. That's really all I got for you. I will see you guys back from the home base tomorrow. Until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Thursday.